What's up, my dudes? I want to introduce you guys to a project I'm working on with my JZX81, and that is a S13 front end suspension conversion. And I'm just going to go over the parts that I'm going to be working with and swapping over and what it takes to do the whole conversion. I'm just going to start pulling random parts out, but I guess we'll start here. I have S13 lower control arms from PBM and the tension rods that go with it. They're kind of pricey, but I do like running PBM tie rods because they have the spacer built in so you don't lose out on threads when you thread it into the rack. It's not really related to the conversion, but I did buy new motor mounts because my old ones were just torn to shreds, and I don't even know how the engine was not flying all over the place. And I got S13 conversion hubs from ISR. S13 and S14 hubs and knuckles are different, so make sure that whenever you buy hubs that you match them up with the knuckles or spindles that you have. And for knuckles, I got PBM knuckles. I am a big fan of PBM. I've ran PBM stuff on my S13 for close to 10 years and I've loved it, so I wanted to get all PBM stuff for this car as well. One thing that I didn't get from PBM though was the power brace. I got the ISR one because it was a little bit cheaper, and yeah, it was cheaper. That's probably the only reason why. But this is gonna bolt onto the X8 chassis, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use the brace part of it because I don't know how spread apart the brackets are gonna be. So if not, I'll maybe cut and weld it back together. I'll see what I can do with this later. I'm running out of room, so I'm gonna put some stuff away real quick. All right, that cleared up a lot of room. I don't want to take these out of the box, but these are S13 calipers. Shoot, you know what? I forgot to order pads and rotors. Okay. I'll make note of that. For the rack, since this car is right-hand drive, I had to buy a 180SX rack. I got this when I was in Japan. It fit in my luggage, and I've actually haven't taken it out of the packaging since that trip. And I just realized that these hard lines stick out so much. So I think I'm going to be buying the stainless lines that will shorten the length of this, because I don't want this hitting the subframe or the chassis. Or maybe I'll just check to see if it fits first. That way I'm not spending an extra 60 or 70 bucks that I don't need. To hold it in place, I got the solid bushings from PBM. And for coils, I went with Silvers. I've actually never ran any of their stuff, but they are one of the few companies that make stuff for X8s, since nobody likes X8s. I went with the regular Neomax ones, but for the rear, I have full X8 top hats and bottom mounts. And for the fronts, since I am running an S13 knuckle, the top part, everything from the bottom mount up is X8. And I just asked if they can put on a S13 lower mount. That way I can run my knuckle. I actually will be running cups on this car later down the road, but just to get the car rolling, I got the coils, and I'll worry about the cups later. And this is the reason why my car has been on jack stands for months. This is an X8 subframe that came out of this car. And while I was in Japan, I bought a 180SX subframe, and I cut out the piece where the rack mounts onto, and I sent it out to have this piece, the 180 piece, welded on to the X8 subframe. That way I can run a S13 rack and pinion. It took a very long time, but it's here, and now I can finally get to work on assembling everything. I wanted to have this here first, that way I can have the engine sitting and I can mount the LCAs. I didn't want everything just dangling, so I've got everything minus brakes and pads and rotors. So soon I'm gonna get started on this because I miss driving this car so much. Man, it got dark quick. But yeah, this is my Mark II that has been sitting for months, and now I have all the parts to get working. So I will show you the process as much as I can. The only time I get to work on this thing is after work, and by the time I get off of work, it's already dark. So I apologize if all my videos are super dark and grainy, but it's the only time that I can really work on it. This was my weekend car. I freaking love driving this thing. It's got AC, it's got heater, it's comfy, sunroof works, all the electronics work, radio works, but it's also my backup drift car. So the X8 suspension kind of sucks. So I opted to do this whole S13 route because I love the way the S13 drives. And once I get all that sorted out and put on, I am going to be moving on to taking out these stock twins because they're super laggy and they are on the way out. They're smoking like crazy. So this guy's getting a top mount setup as well. So if X8 stuff interests you, then stick around for more because I have a lot to do with this car. It's pretty much in the exact same state from when I first got it 4 years ago. The only thing that I did to it was paint it and put wheels. Nothing else. The engine is exactly the same way as when I got it. Oh no, I take that back. I did remove the ABS system. That's why I have no lines right here. I got to put on the ABS delete kit. I have it. It's somewhere. Yeah, I have it. So I got to put that guy on. And other than that, yeah, stock ECU, stock twins, injectors, everything's the same. So until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.